So, like a spicy Indian curry travelling through a human centipede, so too does our show travel from the arse end of one segment into the mouth of the next. But before we move on, we wanted to show you two trailers. The first, we will play now.
Earth to Griff. Griff. Griff.
I have powers to uphold justice and defend the innocent.
I don't think so.
He is a customer liaison officer who thinks he's an invisible superhero.
You're safe.
Go away. I've got mace.
I know you're normal underneath.
I'm not a superhero.
Yes, you are.
It's not real, Melody. Everybody has to grow up.
I live in a bubble that no one gets into. You, Griff, you get into my bubble.
That was the trailer for the quirky Australian film Griff the Invisible, which is about like a quirky autistic guy who finds a quirky autistic girlfriend by acting in a manner that can best be described as...
Delusionally schizophrenic.
Yeah, that's the word.
Okay, this is the sort of film that most Australian film critics would say had a lot of character flaws, a few plot holes, but then ultimately still end up giving it 3 stars.
What you mean, like this?
So Griff the Invisible gets 3 out of 5 spandex suits.
Oh yes, we're all familiar with the Mark Fennell Soft 3. There's nothing in that trailer that really makes you kind of sit up and pay attention. So, let's take a look at the next trailer.
Before I tell you this, you have to commit to a vow of secrecy unlike any other. I'm not who I seem to be. I have powers. And with these powers comes a responsibility. To fight. To protect. To uphold justice and defend the innocent. We have to free. It's okay. You're safe.
Go away. I've got mace.
I see how people look at you. You come across a bit odd.
How's work?
Great.
No mischief?
Gary, Griff's here. No mischief.
Earth to Griff. Griff.
Alrighty, so a pretty different trailer. That was the American trailer for Griff the Invisible. See, when Australian films travel overseas, sometimes their trailers get left at home. This is often called the Macaulay Culkin effect. If your definition of often is right now and for the very first time.
You see it most commonly for Australian movies that are getting an American release, which is why we've decided to call this next segment...
It's impossible to argue that Americans are just better at this sort of thing. I mean, if you take a look at those two trailers, they have all the same footage, the same lines, the same information in their title cards. And yet, like men with large cars have been saying for years, it's not what you have, it's how you use it that counts. So what is it that the American trailer does that the Australian one doesn't? So the American Griff the Invisible trailer, in the first 20 seconds, it's working a lot harder to pull you in and keep you interested. A lot of secrets and mystery. The main character / occasional vampire slayer tells you he's not who he seems to be.
I'm not who I seem to be.
See?
There it is. And then from that moment, you're in classic superhero mode. There's fast music, energetic action, he's monologuing about his code. It basically feels like the movie is actually going somewhere. Also, it's actually quite funny as well.
Whereas in the Australian trailer, we start with Griff, our hero, going to work at an office job, all cut to a marimba-based soundtrack that wouldn't be completely out of place in, say, a commercial for hemorrhoid cream. There is the superhero action, it's in there, but it's really quickly dealt with in the first 10 seconds when it's revealed that Griff is not actually a superhero. So basically, the Australian trailer is probably more representative of the movie you're going to go and see, but the American one makes you want to go and see it more.
And it certainly wouldn't be the only example of it. You see it again and again. Snowtown, when it was released overseas in the States, we called the Snowtown Murders. Chopper also had a completely different US trailer, and also Animal Kingdom as well. Completely different trailers, completely different vibe.
But it hasn't always been like this. Let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison of the trailer for the American and the local trailer for Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
They're ready for stardom. They're ready for fame. They're ready for their close-up.
Let's go shop.
There was a point where all you needed to do was just add an American voice, and that was how you sold an Australian film. But what's changed? Why have we gotten to this point where the American trailers have evolved so much and the ones here at home haven't?
Well, you'd have to argue, obviously, that size would be one of the obvious answers. They are a much bigger industry, they make more films, make more trailers, better practice at it.
Yeah, fair enough. And another one would be money. I mean, the amount spent on trailering your big budget American blockbusters like your Avengers, your Dark Knights, your Prometheus, I mean, is many times what we'd spend on just an actual whole film here, let alone a trailer for one.
Maybe more than size and money, it's probably competitiveness. Hollywood studios are always trying to one-up each other with the next tentpole summer blockbuster. The Hunger Games is bigger than Spider-Man. Avengers is going to be bigger than The Hunger Games. The Dark Knight Rises, probably going to be bigger still. Avatar 2 is going to be so big, James Cameron will have to build an underwater IMAX screening room because it'll be far too big to be housed on an individual continent.
Although suddenly the deep sea diving makes sense though, right? Studios are constantly looking for new ways to get your attention, and every time they build a marketing strategy, the trailer strategy is always core to whatever strategy they're building.
That's right, but in Australia, we don't have that climate of intense competition. I mean, our films are subsidised by the government. They don't even have to make any money, as long as every movie has a drug addict, drag queen, single mother living in the outback with a kitchen sink to cry over.
Many of those films can be seen
Like that one,
down
that's
the road
right.
at this.
Although I would go and see
Very
the kitchen
festival.
sequel.
Well done, the most
but-
pronounced of three.